Hey, Ma Yangsheng, you really are bold the same. Disgusting character you always were. Not a bit changed. Mr. Hu, look at the kind of people you keep around. Honestly, I admire you. How did you build this company? Was it really just those violent investors? Shang Yunyan didn't bother to hide his contempt and mockery. He turned to Chen, Peng and Chen Zan and barked. Drag everyone out. Let all the staff see what kind of scum he really is. You, a married man, hiding treasures in your home while clinging to that office like it's saw lover pathetic. Shang Yunyan, what are you doing? How dare you? That's my office. Ma Yangsheng stammered. What am I afraid of? I'm the chairman now, understand? And you a criminal waiting for judgment. Don Tori, I know everything you've done. Besides keeping mistresses during work hours and playing around. I know about your embezzlement, your tax evasion, the bribes you took to help others poach company assets. Mr. Hu, you didn't know about this, did you? Shameful, shameful. I had no idea. You reckless fool. How much damage have you caused the company? Shu Li shouted, beads of sweat on his brow. Mr. Shu, this is our accountant. Hang, take him to the finance office. Hang, pull the company's accounts incoming, outgoing, reimbursement records and check this man's salary structure and tax filings. Now, fast. Yes sir. Shang Yunyuan's swords shattered. Ma Yangsheng in an instant. No, Director Shang, please, I beg you. Don't investigate. Show mercy, forgive my past faults. It was my fault for making your life difficult, for stealing your woman, for getting you fired, for conspiring with others to bully you. Please spare me. I have a family, a wife and children. I didn't want to go to prison. Ma Yangsheng dropped to his knees and cried out, let go of me. At that moment Yan Yongqing, just pulled free by Chen Peng, and the others heard Ma Yangsheng's cries. Husband, what are you saying? You have children? A family? Then why did you come after me? She cried. Because you raise stupid, a little money and you fall for it, Ma sneered, trying to humiliate Yan Yongqing and show Shang Yunyuan that he was still desirable. How can you say that? Why did you do this to me? You married, why would you come after me? Yan Yongqing shouted back. Who came after you? You saw my fancy car and jumped in of your own accord. I didn't. You don't have to buy me off. I will never let you touch me. Yan Yongqing protested wildly. Enough. Shut up. Shang Yunyuan had had enough. This woman had been the object of his longing for 3 years. To see such faces now filled him with bitter disappointment. How could she possibly deserve his love? At his voice, Yan Yongqing finally looked up and saw the man who had spoken. Something in his tone felt familiar. And when she really took in Shang Yunyuan's face and attire, she was utterly stunned. This was the most shocking moment of her life. Yunyan, what are you doing here? Why is he kneeling before you? She whispered. Don't he call me Yunyan? You don't get to use that intimate name, you don't deserve it. We are not close. As for why he's kneeling, it's because he broke the law and schemed inside my company. Now I'm investigating him. And of course he's scared. Didn't you hear him? He said he has a wife and children. He can go to jail. Yan Yongqing stared at Shang Yunyuan in disbelief, and in an instant he noticed the flicker of change on her face. Her expression shifted, tears welled at the corners of her eyes, and her nose reddened. Yunyan, you don't have to speak to me like that, didn't you? Remember how you used to be cared for by me? She pleaded. Hey, I forgot. Once more, we are not close. And ever cared for you. And your boyfriend? He saw married man. Don't he call me Yunyan again, or I'll be displeased. When I am displeased, I enjoy one thing most of all. Yunyan, are you really going to be so cruel? Smack. Shang Yunyuan slapped her hard, sending Yan Yongqing to the floor. Yan Yongqing, I always thought you were merely lazy and indulgent, but that split-second change of expression you put on a performance so perfect lie. Even King Xia and Manyu can compare. UV surprised me. Stop acting, you false lotus. Cloaked in white but rotten inside. You make me sick. Let me answer you in your own language. Get out, you worthless trash. Men with status and money want women with status and money, not someone who climbs by selling her body. And judging by you, you won't even make it that far. You, Ray, not one of our employees. Security, throw this woman out. She is forever barred from entering United Fate. If she ever returns, we'll strip your company bare. At Shang Yunyuan's order, several security guards surged forward and seized Yan Yongqing, hauling her up roughly. Ah, what are you doing? Let go of me. You're hurting me. Ma Yangsheng husband, help me. Shang Yunyuan, you bastard. You'll pay for this. I'll get revenge. Her screams faded into the distance as she was dragged away. Shang Yunyan stood calmly, his tone cold and commanding. He told Chairman Zhu to gather everyone in the meeting room, management, old shareholders, everyone who once held power. And as for the man lying on the floor, he wasn't going anywhere. Once Shang's people brought the investigation results, then they would call the police. At that moment, Ma Yangsheng suddenly jumped up, pretending to stay calm as he said he needed the restroom. Shang didn't even look at him. With just a glance, his bodyguards understood and followed his silent order. In the meeting room, more than 30 executives and shareholders sat quietly. Shang Yunyan studied their faces. Many of them he knew, but they weren't this enemies, just people who had survived under the old system. He had no intention of tearing the company apart without reason. In his mind, he asked the system whether the company's money could be transferred to the almighty land. The system replied that it only granted him ownership of the shares, not the cash itself. The funds weren't linked to the system. That made Shang smile. In other words, the money was his to use. He stood at the front of the room and spoke slowly. Everyone could feel the weight of his words. Since everyone was already here, he said, there was no need for small talk. He knew exactly what was going on with each of the company's projects. Then he turned to the finance chief and asked how much liquid capital the company still had. 140 million yuan. The finance officer answered nervously. Shang's tone turned icy. A 20-year-old company that cost him so much to acquire, yet it only had a little over 100 million in cash flow? He almost laughed. He asked about the reserve fund. Just a little over 5 million. He smiled faintly and looked at Chairman Zhu. Didn't those numbers make him feel anything? Hu Li's face tightened. He had built this company with his own hands decades ago. Every year, it had made a profit, even if Shang had taken over. What did the past have to do with him? Shang Yunyan simply smiled again. He reminded everyone that he had worked here before long enough to know that for every corrupt manager like Ma Yongsheng, there were always more hiding behind him. Just then, the doors opened. His men dragged Ma Yongsheng inside and threw him to the floor. He had tried to run, but they caught him, and the investigation revealed far more than anyone expected. According to the report, Ma's official salary was 36,000 IR, plus 1% of the department, as profit, but in reality, the company had transferred over 3.5 million to his personal account. Of that, only a small portion was legitimate. The rest were so-called reimbursements. One dinner expense alone reached over 200,000 yuan, and for taxes, he paid less than 5,000. Shang's voice echoed through the room as he questioned the finance chief about those ridiculous approvals. The man stammered that every document had a vice president's signature, so he never dared reject it. The atmosphere grew heavy. No one dared to move. Then Shang turned his gaze back to Hu Li. Was this what he called management? Tax evasion, bribery, secret affairs inside the office? He said cold lie that Hu Li had grown old and complacent. If it weren't for him, the company could have gone public long ago, instead of rotting from within. His words left Hu Li speechless. The room fell silent. No one dared to breathe. And then in that silence, Shang Yunyan gave the final order. Lock the doors, check every reimbursement from last month, and call the police. No one expected he would really do it. But in that moment, everyone finally understood. This new chairman was in there to negotiate. He was here to clean house. The room fell silent. One of the department managers finally spoke up, trying to defend himself, saying they were all Hone Street people who would never do such things. But Shang Yunyan only laughed, cold lie in his mind. Believe them? Believe their words instead of the facts? What a joke. He reminded them that every corner of the company now belonged to him. If he wanted to shut it down tomorrow, he could. The only reason he was conducting such a strict cleanup was to make the company better, and he wanted everyone to remember that. After that, he didn't bother to speak further. He leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes, taking a quiet breath while the others sat frozen, afraid to move. Then the familiar chime of the system rang in his head. Congratulations, host. Face-slapping mission complete. You've earned a lottery draw. He smirked slightly, answering silently, later tonight. It's not convenient now. The system praised him, saying it had finally seen the pride of the Shang family return. He chuckled to himself. Was that the same system that claimed it never met his ancestors? Before he could press further, another chime came. Congratulations. Level up to level 2. System panel upgrading. Almighty land upgrading. Please wait. He sighed, always dodging my questions. He muttered under his breath. Still, the thought of an upgrade made him happy. By 4 in the afternoon, the office had been quiet for nearly half an hour. Zhu'er had already called the police, and everyone looked restless. No one had expected their new chairman to act so decisively, so ruthlessly efficient. Suddenly, a door burst open. Hang Liping walked in with files stacked thick as bricks. She announced that every person in the company had some kind of gray income, but 3 of them were truly outrageous. She slammed the documents on to the table. Expense reports, transfer records, all in order. Shang glanced down, and his expression hardened. He pointed straight at the vice president and exploded with fury. He had thought the man's boldness meant honesty, but it turned out he was the dirtiest of them all. MBZZ Ling over 4 million in just 1 month. Shang swore that he would make him pay it all back, and more. Just as his anger reached its peak, the police entered. They asked who had reported the case. He stood up without hesitation and said it was him. He explained that he had just acquired the company, but the crimes were real: tax evasion, fraud, bribery. He had the evidence, and he wanted full legal prosecution. The officers looked surprised, then took the suspects away. As they were let out, Ma Yongsheng broke down completely, crying, grabbing at Shang's leg, begging for mercy. But Shang didn't even look at him. He simply ordered Zhu'er to take over as acting general manager from this moment on, and appointed Hang Liping to lead the financial department. The finance director was to fully cooperate with her, or else, well, she didn't need to be told twice. The 3 vice presidents left behind were drenched in cold sweat, their minds spinning with fear. Shang Rose collected the documents and walked out, leaving Chen Zan behind as guard, while Chen Peng and his driver Uncle Zhang escorted him to the police station. By evening, the 4 corrupt executives were trembling in interrogation rooms, waiting for their fate. Back in the conference room, the atmosphere was still tense. Someone finally whispered, asking if it was all over. Zhuer, now in charge, told them calmly to continue the meeting. Her words carried quiet authority enough to make everyone realize that the company's power had already shifted. Even old chairman Hu Li sat in silence, realizing at last that his once proud company had been nothing but a gilded shell, rotten from the inside out. Meanwhile in the car, Shang sent Hang Liping a message. Transfer all the company's liquid assets into his personal account. He already had a new investment in mind. Within minutes 1.4 billion yuan appeared in his balance. He smiled. System, he called in his mind. You still asleep? The reply came half irritated. Asleep? I told you I was upgrading. He chuckled. So you done upgrading yet? Of course I am. What do you think? It takes a whole day to go from level 1 to 2. He smirked again. Good. I've got 1.4 billion cash, not yours. Mine. Move it into the almighty land. I'm eating. To the police station. I can operate it myself right now. Inside his mind, the system's voice came alive again, teasingly cold and mechanical. It told Shang Yunyan that his money could be directly operated by him anymore. Once it entered the almighty land, it would begin to change. Sometimes it might double overnight, sometimes only grow a little. It was random, unpredictable, but always alive. Shang just grinned. If it becomes 1.5 billion, that's still profit, he thought. Why not put it in? Worth the risk. Love you, my little system. The system froze. Die host. You disgust me. I've existed for tens of thousands of years. And you dare flirt with me like that? Shang laughed. Tens of thousands of years? What are you? Some kind of ancient virgin system? Die. The system is male. Then show me you are enough. A sudden headache struck him, like smoke rising behind his eyes. He rubbed his temples. All right. I want targ with you. I've got business at the police station. Just do your job. The system huffed, clearly annoyed. Shang chuckled. What at Sunder system, he whispered. Die. It screamed back, fading into static. By the time he left the police station, it was already past 9 at night. Earlier, around 6, Hang Liping had arrived with several of the company's accountants, each one carrying thick files of evidence. The 4 executives accused of corruption sat pale and trembling, unable to speak. Shang looked at them with disgust. Pathetic, so arrogant when stealing, but the moment they're caught, they collapse like worms. Hang Liping leaned close and whispered, Sir, should we contact the legal team? Yes, he replied without hesitation. Tell Yuru to find the best lawyers money can buy. I don't care about the cost, I want this done right. This isn't just revenge. It's sorter. Hang hesitated. Sir, you don't really need to take it so seriously. It's not even a company you founded. You've already proven your point. He smiled faintly. I know, but everyone has their reasons, their burdens, and this is mine. He was doing it for pride. He was doing it for Zhu, or to clean up the mess. Before handing her the company, his real goal was to run United Fit forever, with the system by his side. He had bigger dreams, future technology, innovation, patents. That was the real battlefield. When he finally got home, it was past 10. The moment he stepped through the door, the smell of food filled the air. Oh God, I'm starving. He laughed. Chen Peng, Chen Zan, Hang Ji, Uncle Zhang, come eat. We've worked all day without a break. They hesitated, embarrassed. Sir, that wouldn't be proper. Nonsense. Look at all this food. City or I'll be angry. Everyone laughed and joined at him at the table. They ate, talked, and listened to the story of the day, the chaos, the arrests, the system that none of them knew about. After dinner, Shang turned serious again. Shang Ji, Zhuer, from now on, you two will handle the company's affairs. I've got other projects to focus on. Your salaries stay as company standard. Zhuer, 600,000 a year plus 2% profit. Hang Ji, 480,000. Fair? He never threw money blindly. No matter how rich he became, rules mattered. Both women smiled and nodded. As you wish, sir. Then Yuru appeared, holding a clipboard. Sir, I had the workers trim the entire lawn today, and he hired a cleaning crew, 35 people. The villa's spotless now. He looked around impressed. Now under Theckenselspirl, he said with a grin. That night he slept peacefully. The next morning, as sunlight touched his face, he opened his eyes and entered the system space. The host finally remembers I exist. The system said sarcastically. I was exhausted yesterday, slept. That's all. But hey, your panel looks different. Now, there's a new button under the lottery key. Something called a tech key. And wait, the lottery key shows a number 2. Does that mean I've got to draws? Correct, replied the system. Tech key means current tech, right? Of course not. It's future tech, divine level technology. Use it wisely, and you'll make a fortune. Shang's eyes lit up. Nice. Oh, and how much is my 4 billion worth now? 3.2 billion, said the system smugly. You really have insane luck. Look closely, don't you see? What changed in the almighty land? Shang looked around. Still looks like a barren wasteland. Salty, cracked soil. Wait, what's so special? The system groaned. Unbelievable. Not only are you slow, you're blind. Whatever. Do you want to use a key or not? He laughed. Let's go with the lottery key. It needs some excitement this morning. When Shang Yunyan heard the system's tone, he already had a bad feeling, but curiosity won in the end. He pressed the lottery button. Ding. The host has used the lottery function. Please wait. Congratulations. You've won a water gun. Shang froze. A water gun? He opened the system storage space and stared blankly. Nearly 2 meters tall, this thing looked more like a fire cannon than Attaway. He sighed. System, are you serious right now? The system replied smugly. Absolutely. Isn't it magnificent? He wanted to curse. This is my reward for finishing Atimi limited mission? A giant water gun? Well, the system said with fake innocence. You can always use it to water your lawn. Or maybe one day you will have a zoo in your almighty land. Elephants, giraffes, rare creatures. You'll wake up, open the curtains, and spray them with this gun. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Shang rubbed his temples. Something about that vision didn't feel right. Fine. I'll save it for later. IV. Still got one more lottery chance. But honestly, I'm scared to use it now. The system chuckled. Relax. Not every reward is useless. But remember, not everyone is a super prize either. Ignoring the sarcasm, Shang clicked the lottery button again. Ding. Congratulations. You've received a message from the future. Would you like to view it now? Of course, he said eagerly. The data loaded. October 23rd, the system read. A major fire will break out at the Tianji development site in the northern fifth ring of the imperial capital. No casualties. After the fire, the company will auction off the land. 1 month later, a small gold deposit will be discovered underground. Shang's eyes lit up. Gold? Seriously? But then he frowned. I don't want innocent lives lost. No deaths, said the system. The place will be empty that night. You just focus on the timing. Got it. He exited the almighty land. But something caught his attention. The system had asked earlier if he noticed any changes in the land. He knelt down, examining the cracked white soil. After a while, he realized it had expanded. The system sighed. Finally, you noticed. When your level increased from 1 to 2, the land expanded too. Look closer. Can't you see the color? Indeed, a faint green shimmer glowed across the surface, a quiet sign of life awakening. It feels alive, Shang murmured. Like the start of something bigger. The system's tone softened. The almighty land holds a great secret. Host, its purpose isn't just to tour life. When your level rises again, a new function will awaken. What kind of function? When the time comes, you'll know. He smiled wryly. Fine, keep your secrets. I'm out. As his consciousness faded from the system space, somewhere deep within the almighty land, a faint shadow appeared, vaguely human, watching silently from afar. Back in the real world, it was already past 10. After breakfast, Shang received a message from Zuer. The top law firm had been contacted. She also mentioned that some employees had sent her videos of Ma Yongsheng's scandal, evidence of his affairs at work. Shang thought about it for a while. Ma Yongsheng's wife had probably known all along. She just kept him around for the money. There was no point in sending her the proof. He had bigger plans ahead. After hanging up the call with Zuer, Shang Yunyan leaned back in his chair, deep in thought. Zuer had reminded him that even though he was now the chairman, he could and simply use the company's funds however he pleased. Every investment needed paperwork, project proposals, things that looked proper on the surface. He smiled faintly. Rules are rules. A few minutes later, he called the finance manager. Hang Lipping confirmed the formalities and transferred the 140 million yuan back into the company account. This time, it was his own money. His 10 billion check from before hadn't even been touched. Inside the system's almighty land, the untouched 140 million along with his old savings of 30,000 yuan still rested, quietly like seeds waiting for the right season. He checked the date on his phone. October 20th. 3 days left until the fire at the Tianji development site, the one the system had predicted. He had to prepare. He didn't know how to enter an auction, or how real estate bidding worked, but that didn't matter. His goal was entry. Construction. It was the gold beneath the ground, the treasure the system had revealed. Even if the amount was limited, with the almighty land's power, that gold could multiply. And gold was eternal. When the world changed, when chaos came, gold would always rise. He called out old Zhang Chenpeng. Ling Ling, let's go pick up some of my old belongings. They were still at the apartment I used to rent. The three exchanged looks. The young master used to rent an apartment? Right away, sir, said Chenpeng. 2 cars started up and drove toward the narrow alley where his small, shabby rental stood. Inside, it was still the same, small but complete. The kind of place you never forget. He packed quietly, saying little. Before leaving, he looked around one last time. This was where he had once lived with Yan Yongqing. That thought soured instantly. He could still hear her voice calling another man husband right in front of him. Disgust tightened his chest. What a fool I was, he thought. Even breaking up felt dirty. He turned sharply. Let's go. They took the elevator down, loaded the luggage into the Mercedes van, and just as they were about to leave, a woman stood in the distance watching Yan Yongqing. She froze the moment she saw him stepping into a Rolls Royce she didn't even recognize. Her phone came up automatically. Click one photo, then another. Inside the car, as it turned around, Shang caught a faint reflection in the bank's glass wall, a figure holding up a phone. He narrowed his eyes. Stop the car. Old Zhang braked immediately. Shang stepped out. followed by his two bodyguards, Chen Peng and Ling Ling. He pointed toward the bank. That woman. Inside she was taking pictures of us. Go find out why. Bring her out. Both Chen brothers were tall, over 190, muscles tense beneath tailored suits, the kind of men whose presence alone silenced a room. Chen Peng stormed into the bank, pushed open the door, and his deep voice boomed across the lobby. You, come out here. Why are you taking pictures of my boss and his car? The sudden outburst drew every eye staff. Customers, security guards, all startled. The bank guards hurried over, but they were older men, half Chen Peng's size, and they hesitated. Yan Yongqing stammered, her voice trembling. I wasn't taking pictures. I don't even know you. Chen Peng crossed his arms, then open your phone. Show me the last 3 photos. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize right here. But if I am not, you coming with me. Her face went pale. Why should I show you my phone? I said I didn't take any pictures. This is a bank. What can you even do here? The entire hall fell silent. Everyone waited for the next move. I can't do anything to you. Since you dared to do it, admit it. Our young master wants to see you outside. Come with me. Chen Peng didn't want to waste time arguing with Yan Yongqing. After all, young master Shang Yunyan was waiting outside, and he hated being kept waiting. After saying that, Chen Peng turned and walked away. Yan Yongqing looked toward the Rolls-Royce, parked outside, and saw Shang Yunyan standing beside it, wearing a sharp suit, looking cold and distant. Endless regret welled up in her chest. As Chen Peng walked away, she wanted to follow, but suddenly, an older woman beside her grabbed her arm. Hey young lady, the woman said anxiously, that man looks dangerous. What if something bad happens if you go with him? Yeah, you have to protect yourself out here. Girl, another customer added. Several people inside the bank, who were waiting in line, surrounded Yan Yongqing, clearly worried for her safety. It's fine, he's my friend. Yan Yongqing explained quickly. Is he threatening you? Even the bank staff came forward to calm her down. If anything happened inside the bank, they would all be held responsible. Meanwhile, Shang Yunyan saw Chen Peng return alone. There was no Yan Yongqing behind him. He didn't intend to wait any longer. He simply got in the car and left. Yan Yongqing suddenly saw the Rolls-Royce driving away. She pushed past the people around her and ran outside, staring helplessly as the 2 cars disappeared down the road. Master, didn't you want to see her? Asked old Zhang from the driver's seat. Not really. Shang Yunyan replied calmly. I only saw her taking pictures of my car. I wanted to mock her a little, but since she didn't even dare to come out with Chen Peng, that means she feels guilty. There's no need to bother with someone like that. Still, I don't like people secretly taking pictures of my car and plate number. I'm not a celebrity. After all, old Zhang chuckled. But young master, you're far more handsome than most celebrities. Shang Yunyan smiled faintly. Old Zhang, you're teasing me again. At that moment, Yan Yongqing stood still outside the bank, phone trembling in her hand. After a long hesitation, she dialed the number she had once blocked. Sorry, the number you dialed is currently unavailable. Please try again later. The cold mechanical voice told her what she already read. Shang Yunyan had blocked her. Their WeChat connections had been deleted long ago as well. Yan Yongqing couldn't understand it. She knew Shang Yunyan's background better than anyone. She had gone with him to his home village during her senior year of college, a poor, remote place. There was no way he could have built such wealth. Even if he had somehow won the lottery, it would they've been enough to acquire the United Fit Investment Company. That kind of deal required billions, tens of billions, and no lottery in history had ever reached 10 billion yuan. Yan Yongqing was lost in confusion. What on earth had happened to Shang Yunyan? She wanted to know desperately. That afternoon, Shang Yunyan received word that the lawyers from Fanjiuan Legal had officially submitted the law suit against Ma Yongsheng and the others. The court date was set, but Shang Yunyan didn't need to appear in person. He could have someone attend on his behalf. When he heard the news, Shang Yunyan felt relieved. He disliked doing to court. It was a waste of time and patience, and with his current status, there was no need for him to attend such trivial matters. 2 nights later, in the 5th ring of the divine capital, a massive fire broke out at the Tianji development construction site. Several high-rise buildings and villa complexes under construction were engulfed in flames. The strong winds that night spread the fire rapidly, burning almost the entire development to ashes. Nearby residents watched in fear, worried that the wind would carry the flames to their homes. After an entire night of firefighting, the blaze was finally extinguished at 10:53 the next morning. Inside Tianji development, as headquarters meeting room, chaos reigned. The situation Fonsoliste, the chairman said bitterly, and the banks have stopped supporting us. We have no choice. If we don't take action, even our foundation will collapse. In the end, they decided to auction off the company's largest property project to raise emergency funds to pay the construction companies. Shang Yunyan watched the news report on television and immediately called Zuer. Young master, she answered. Zuer, you've seen the news about the Tianji development fire, right? I'm guessing they'll auction off the land soon. Find out when and where the auction will be held. I want all the details. Yes, sir. I'll get on it right away. By the way, next Wednesday is the court date for Vice President Wang and Ma Yongsheng's case. I've arranged someone to attend in your place. You don't need to worry about it. Good, thank you Zuer. You're too kind young master. After finishing the call, Shang Yunyan returned to his room. He needed to know how much his money had grown in the almighty land system after 3 days. If it wasn't enough to bid for the land, he'd need another plan. System, he said. How mucus Mafordian? 1 billion, the system replied. Shang Yunyan paused for a moment, then asked system, I already have 1 billion now. Why haven't you upgraded yet? And why hasn't the almighty land upgraded either?